everyone, and welcome. It's Friday. It's the end of a week, and I'm going to share with you some secrets of my life and some very unusual facts. So I hope you stay tuned. April 20th, 1942, and this entry makes me giggle. Poor dear Marion woke up with a nightmare. She went back to bed alone, and her poor mother would not go to bed with her. My dear sweet Marion. Now this is a little bit of an unusual in her diary because Fanny didn't do a lot of speaking emotionally. Fanny was not an emotional person, and so by saying that Marion had a nightmare and went to bed alone and her poor dear mother wouldn't go with her is really quite unusual on this entry. So I thought that was quite interesting because I've not known Fanny to be ever an emotional person, so that was interesting. Hi everyone, and welcome to another Friday, and this is going to be a fun video that's going to share some secrets of Homestead Tessie that you have never known about, and I'm also going to share with you some really unusual and fun facts. So let's get started with secret number one. What is secret number one of Homestead Tessie's life? Did you know that I never had my own bank account? Did you know I never wrote a check out? Did you know I never earned 1 penny until I started YouTube? And about 7 months ago, I earned my very first paycheck I have earned in my whole entire life. And that is 48 years. I earned my first paycheck from YouTube. Of course, it wasn't very much, but I was the proudest girl you'd ever want to find because I opened up my very first checking account, and it was so much fun. Being a young girl and being married at 17, and I'm almost married 31 years, I never had the need for a checking account. I never had the need for writing checks and going to the bank because I was always a stay-at-home mom. Never had a job outside of my home. But my doors were opened wide when I learned YouTube, and I experienced things that a lot of people have experienced ever since they were young. I experienced the first time going to the bank and opening up my very own checking account. My heart was beating so fast, and I had a lot of anxiety, and I was really nervous because it was something that I've never done before. So that, my friends, is secret number one. So, what is secret number two? Well, secret number two isn't really quite a secret because those of you who watch my videos know there's two things in my life that I just have to have. I love canning, I love cooking, and I love living the homestead life. But did you know there's just a little girliness in Tessie? Can you guess what it is? Well, I'm going to share with you. Secret number two is, even though I don't wear a lot of makeup, there's two things I have to have, and I have to have on me 24/7. One is my pink lipstick, which I'm sure you all noticed by now, and the other one, I bet you haven't never noticed, is my pink toenails. Yes, my friends, my lips and my toenails have to always be painted, and they're always painted pink. I know, go figure. That's secret number two. Here's another interesting fact. I did a lot of extensive travels to Haiti and to Jamaica, and also to Mexico. These travels have changed my perspective of the world. From the age of 4 to the age of 15, I did a lot of traveling. And here is my passport. Now I'm going to share with you a few very old clips of some of our travels. I have a lot of film that's on the old-fashioned 3mm films, which I would like to convert all of them into digital. But here's just a few clips of me at age 3 or age 4, and also my mama in Haiti. My parents were very good friends with a missionary couple from Haiti, and so we would spend many summers going to Haiti and helping with the mission work. Sometimes we stayed at a nice hotel there on location, and other times we actually stayed at the missionary's house. So I developed a real sense of keenness of the world that we lived in. I was the little white girl. In fact, in some of the areas, I was probably the only white girl they've ever seen at the time. And so they really were inspired by me as a child because they really enjoyed the different culture. I will be the first one to tell you, the people in Haiti and Jamaica and in Mexico were the friendliest people that I have ever met. I looked fondly to those days there, and I think about it often. It helped change my life and my world because the cultures were so different. So I hope you enjoyed these couple clips.
My most vivid memories are helping to build the schools and the churches. In Haiti, they didn't have adequate buildings, and so they had teachers, but they had nowhere for these children to go. And the children were helped out with the building of the schools, and they also would provide them with outfits. So they had uniforms. What you're witnessing here is a quarry, and this is what the older Haitian men would do. They would actually hammer large boulders into small gravel for pennies. They made very little money. In fact, not much has changed over the years, and the Haitians worked extremely hard for very little cash. So the churches and the schools were a big part of my life in Haiti and seeing the work done.
One of the happiest days of my life actually transpired a few years ago. My mother was starting to develop dementia, and she was developing it at a fairly fast rate. So one day I decided to have a meeting with my mother and my father. And so I sat in the living room and I shared with them how I was so thankful that they adopted me. I shared with them my thankfulness for them adopting me. My mother sat quietly. My mother was still at talking stage of her dementia. And after a little bit, she said some words to me that I would cherish the rest of my life, because these are one of the last words she spoke to me personally. She said, "Tessie, I wish I could have done more for you when you were young." And then she said words that I will cherish the rest of my life. She said, "Tessie," she said, "I'm very proud of you. I'm proud of who you became, and I'm proud of what you've done with the trials in your life." My mother was always a very strict woman, and affirmations didn't come easy for my mother. My mother lived a very strict and rigid life. She was a hard worker. She worked harder than any woman I've ever met. My mother loved me deeply, but my mother was very busy, constantly working. And when she said those words of being proud of me and being proud of my attitude towards trials in my life, really spoke volumes to me. It was an affirmation, and it was a confirmation, and it was a way for me to be able to heal. My mother then slowly developed dementia to the point where she has not spoken hardly any words in the last 7 years. But every time I go see my mother, She gives a big smile, and there's just a little glimmer of hope in her eyes. For my mother still knows me, and that is all that matters, because I know that my mother still loves me, even though she can't speak. I want to share with you a photo that's very special to me. It is a photo of our wedding, and this, my friends, is my mama, and this is how I want to remember her by. So there is me, my mama, and my daddy. And that is my mama, the pillar of strength. And that is how I want to remember her. So, that was the happiest day of my life. So, what is the hardest day of my life, or the saddest day of my life? There are a few that point out in my life, but one of the saddest days of my life was when I lost my beloved Fanny. As you hear in the diary every single day of stories of Fanny. Now these were stories of Fanny when she was a young married wife, so that was way before I was born. But Fanny came into my life at age 17 when I got married, and she took me under her wing. I was there with Fanny and took care of Fanny when she was bedridden for the 3 months before she passed away. And I was there moments after she passed away. I was there and I felt the warmth leave her body. And that was a hard time in my life. Because once someone is gone, you can never turn the clock back. And even though I said all of the things I needed to say, death is so final. But through Fanny's diaries and through her works of written art, I'm able to share her life with all of you. So once again, I'm going to share with you a picture of Fanny that's forever engraved in my memory, and that is of our wedding day, because at this point is when I really got to know Fanny as a lifelong best friend. Fanny is the one standing right next to me, and I am the bride. There is my dear beloved Fanny. Like I've told you in the past, Fanny is not my grandma, but it was my husband's grandma. But she told me that she would be my grandma too. So even though it was the hardest and the most sad time in my life, losing her and my father-in-law and mother-in-law were very difficult. I can still rejoice in her life and live through her every single day. I would really like to thank all of you for watching this video. And as the weeks and months and years go ahead, I share more and more of my life with you. I feel my life is an open book, and I feel that in sharing my life with all of you, I'm able to share experiences of my life and maybe in turn help someone out there with their life situations. You know, we only have one life to live, and you know, let's live it fully as we can. Trials come in our way and hardships come, and sometimes there's noises in our life. But we look up to the sky and we're thankful for another day, because nothing is guaranteed. Our lives could change in a moment. But life is a journey, and life is what we make it. Oh, there's so many more stories to share with you, so many things to share. And we all have stories to share of our life. We all are books. And I'd love to have each one of your books on my bookshelf that I could take out and read, because your stories have really impacted my life. You have impacted me more than I will ever impact you. And I'm so deeply grateful for that. I know some of these secrets were not maybe the biggest secrets that you ever thought you'd hear, because really I am an open book. I share every part of my life with you all. I've always been that way. One of the biggest secrets that people don't know about me is I can't hold grudges. Ever since I was a little girl, every time someone's wronged me, or every time that somebody did something to me, I'm so easy to forgive. That's just my nature. It's an easy trait, but sometimes it's a hard trait because I'm always so forgiving. So a lot of people think that means I condone bad behavior, or that means that I am not strong and I don't have enough of willpower to speak my mind as much. But I am just that. I can't hold grudges. Never could, never can. It's just my personality and I can't change it. And I like to smile. I like to laugh. I like to enjoy the little things in life. Because if you can't enjoy the little things in life, you won't enjoy the big things. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to do more of these. I have a lot more things to share, a lot more stories, like I said, and I have a lot more secrets to share with you. I hope you all have a really good Friday and a really good weekend. And I can't wait to come into your home every single day. I've done it now for 1.5 years. Time does go by quickly. And life is like a vapor. When you're on this earth, it seems like it's forever, but really it's such a short time. And really what matters in life is how you treat others, and really what matters in life is what you've done to help others. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.